So the new suburbs have been released for the Green Badge and they will start to be implemented in June. And if your final appearance will be in June, you will have the choice of doing the new 27 runs or the old 128 runs. So as you can imagine, most people are going to opt for doing the new 27 runs. For those who don't know me, my name is Dean Warrington. I am the founder of Wizann Knowledge School and I have been a licensed London taxi driver since 1996 and my badge number is 57007. So the reason for this video is to put some very important issues straight. Firstly, I am pleasantly surprised at the amount of support there is for these suburbs, but it seems as usual the loudest voices are those that are unhappy with the new suburbs, or more to the point, they're not as unhappy as such with the new suburbs, but unhappy that we can claim that the knowledge is getting easier. It seems that the word easier is what upsets people. I've seen and been involved with every change to the knowledge for the past 26 years, and I can tell you, despite TfL's best efforts, the knowledge has done nothing but get harder. And if we took the knowledge back to the standard of 15 years ago alone, then it would be a good thing, and we could promote the knowledge as getting easier. Let me give you an example. Rules were written to make a clearer clarification about points needing turnarounds and setting on the left. If you did the knowledge in my day, you had no clue to what the examiner was intending or expecting with any given question. You might think the point doesn't need a turnaround, but the examiner thinks it does. You have no way of knowing, and you would have to take your best gambled guess. So to take away this ambiguity, guidelines were put in place to make things clearer, which worked perfectly well until some examiners then used those guidelines to increase the difficulty of the knowledge once again. The rule was the examiner should really specify that they would like the point set on the left or left on the left, which is a great idea. But rather than just sticking to the points of interest that needed turnarounds or were in the grey area of turnarounds, they started asking you to leave on the left and set on the left for points of interest that absolutely did not need a turnaround. So let me tell you why it's very important that everyone who's involved with this trade who thinks the knowledge should survive should be saying the knowledge is getting easier and it's a good thing. Because if you're not saying that, then you are happy to accept that the knowledge will end. We are a stone's throw away from a critical tipping point when there will not be enough candidates to examine. What follows that is the examiners are reassigned or made redundant, and what follows is the end of the knowledge system entirely as you now know it. So what we need to do is not only make the knowledge easier with some very simple changes, we need to give the perception that it's easier and we need to promote that it's easier. If just 5% of PHV drivers are persuaded to change and do the knowledge, then everything will be fine. If you made the knowledge just 10% easier than it is currently, you would decrease the average time on the knowledge by just 100 days, making it on average take around 1,000 days to complete. Is that not enough time to be spending to become a London taxi driver? The latest change to the suburbs is a great change and it will work fine and not diminish the standard one bit. In fact, you could argue it will increase the standard. Due to the shorter time it takes to complete, you will be driving your cab sooner and therefore your knowledge will be fresher. You didn't have to spend 8 to 10 weeks neither doing the knowledge or driving a cab. I know there are a lot of cab drivers who fully understand that this change is minuscule in the scheme of things and are fully supportive of the change. But what's important is that you do not miss this chance to promote the knowledge as becoming easier. The knowledge, just being perceived as being easier, is going to be the #1 enticement to those thinking of starting it. So if you want to promote the knowledge or advertise the knowledge, you need to think about the issue of why people aren't doing the knowledge. Other changes should happen too, and everyone should be behind and supporting those changes, such as the abolition of redlining, or at the very least, the removal of being redlined back a whole level. Either way, that would be an improvement and would allow us to say the knowledge has become easier. This change would not diminish the standard one iota. The other change is to remove or restrict the questions that the examiners ask. Make it being just from A to B with no additional unnecessary features. If that were to happen, we could once again say the knowledge has become easier. It's no secret that I am and never have been a fan of redlining, but I am a fan of technical questions. I love the standard that we have been able to aspire to and obtain. The problem with that idea in this moment in time is that you do not have a large enough pool of students to warrant this kind of increased difficulty. And if you want to promote the knowledge, you are going to get nowhere with adverts that say, hey, do the knowledge, it's good. I estimate we have 1 to 1.5 years to turn this around. And if the numbers go up, then we reintroduce the technical questions. But if the numbers go down, then it's all over. So ask yourself, do you really want to save the knowledge, or are you just happy because you've already done it and an ever-shrinking cab fleet might increase your income for a period? And do you really believe that these small changes would diminish our standard that much? So at the beginning of this video, I mentioned my name and my badge number. I did this on purpose because there are too many of you hiding behind a pseudonym. And a major problem with our industry is too many of you are unable to articulate a decent argument or debate and just resort to attacking on social media with very lowbrow comments. What I would say to those people is to be more thoughtful and behave more respectfully. Explain yourselves clearly, and if not, then just say nothing. And to all those who have any control over some form of social media, if you see these lowball, unintelligible comments like this one or like this one, just delete them and block them. They make our whole industry look bad. This negative image and persona some drivers are intent on displaying does not represent me. It needs to change. But here's the real scandal. Currently, it is impossible to apply to do the knowledge. It has been pretty much impossible for over a year. If you want to be angry about something, then there it is. Get angry about that and insist that TfL open their online applications again soon. And while you're at that, ask them how many people applied for the green badge since January 2020 to the present day. There are normally 2,000 plus people on appearances at any one time. There are currently around 600 and it's shrinking every day. So what is your plan? What is your plan to change that? Finally, if you're not a member of a trade organisation, then you absolutely should be. It's through these groups that your voice becomes more powerful. And if you're not supporting Taxi App or any other trade-owned app, then you're not sincerely concerned about our trade. You're more concerned about yourself. Thank you for listening. I hope you get the point. I hope you understand that we need to do something to save our trade, and the thing we need to do is to promote the knowledge, and by promoting the knowledge we need to actually exclaim that it's getting easier. If you're afraid of doing that, then we don't really have much chance and the knowledge will come to an end. So when you see people, is this the end of the knowledge as we know it because the suburbs have changed? No, not at all. This is the beginning of us trying to save the knowledge. If you want to save the knowledge, start promoting it, start being positive, start trying to create people to do the knowledge. Otherwise, just accept that the knowledge is gone. Thank you for listening. I hope I haven't sounded too preachy, but sometimes someone has to just say something.